Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be trying some products from Red-Iguana. I did order these products a while back and I'll be honest, I kind of forgot everything that I ordered. So let's go ahead and open it up. By the way, here is one of my Valentine's Day nail sets and this ended up turning out like super Halloween looking, so I didn't record it. So the first thing that I got is the dual form C-curve. So these I really wanted to try. These dual forms actually go underneath your natural nail and then you can build out the product over top. So I've never tried anything like this and I thought it was really interesting, so I did decide to try these out. I also picked up the 24 karat gold cuticle oil. I thought this was really interesting, so I decided to try it out. I also got one of their top coat gels. This is a wipe top coat, so you do have the tacky layer after it's cured, but I wanted to try their top coat out as well. So this paper here is actually the instructions for their Acrygel. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Like, I really don't hear people calling it Acrygel that much. It's basically polygel, and I actually didn't know that Red-Iguana has polygel, and I started like looking on their website and I did find out that they have some, so I decided to try it. It also comes with instructions for their practice hands, which I did not get. So here are the polygel colors that I picked out. I will just be calling it polygel because that's kind of what I'm used to, and I'm pretty sure Acrygel is just another name for polygel. So yeah, I'm just gonna call it polygel. I picked up the pink, clear pink, milky white, white, light nude, and the clear. As far as the packaging, I love that they come in like their own individual boxes. It seems like a lot of packaging, but it does make it look really aesthetic. Also, these jars are huge and they feel like pretty good quality as well. So they do come sealed to prevent them from leaking. So this polygel seems to have a very thick consistency, like it doesn't want to move at all, which I'm already liking. I like really stiff polygels, so I think I'm going to like it so far, even though I haven't even like touched it yet. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the other ones. So the first one I opened was obviously the clear, and this is the color nude. Here is the white, and that is pretty bright. I think there's like something right there. Maybe that was from me. Here is the milky white. Here are both of the whites side by side, so you can clearly see that this one is like super bright and this one is more like, of course, milky. Here we have clear pink, and obviously in the name, this is a pink that's more transparent, so it will look a little bit more natural. And last but definitely not least, we have light pink. So I kind of forgot, but these actually come in a set. It's 6 different colors. I'm not sure the name of the collection, but I'll try to put it up on screen if it does have a name. So here are all of the products that I purchased. Let's go ahead and move on to the nail set. Okay, so I purchased these and I didn't really properly know how to use them. I was like, I'll figure it out once I have them. And after I prepped my practice hand here, I decided to look at a few videos just before filming this part, just to make sure I'm doing it like as properly as possible. And I found 2 different ways of using these. First off, these are called dual form tips, and some people do call them Russian dual forms. So I have already sized them out, and I'm going to be doing 2 different methods. I believe this first method I'm about to tell you about is the correct way, but please comment down below if I am wrong. So for the dual form tip method, you want to apply the polygel on the inside of the dual form tip. Before you cure, you want to flip it over and place it on the free edge of your nail and go ahead and cure. Once it's cured, you pop it off and then apply polygel over the entire nail. Now that seems pretty cool, but I also seen a few other techniques as well, which I am going to be trying. So for that, you actually place the dual form tip underneath the nail. Once it's in place, you would then apply the product over the entire nail, sculpting it out as if it's like a paper nail form. Once it's cured, you will then take off the dual form from underneath the nail. So for this video, I am trying both methods. So for the pinky and the ring fingernail, we are going to be placing the dual form underneath, and for the middle and index nail, I'm going to be placing it on top. So for the main color of this manicure, I will be using the light nude. I'm not going to be using one polygel brush. This does have the spatula on the other side, but by the time you scoop out the polygel, put it on the dual form and flip it back around, there's a big chance that you get polygel right here, and it's really annoying. I personally don't like to clean the brush like every 5 seconds, so I'm just going to be using 2. That is probably the only complaint that I have about the packaging of Red-Iguana's polygels. I will be using my Kiara Sky Dab and Dish and some rubbing alcohol for the slip. Just because this is a practice hand, it's a little bit harder to put it in the full-sized lamp every single time I need to cure, so I will be using the Kiara Sky Beyond Pro Flash Cure lamp to flash cure the dual forms in place. Just kind of ignore these like white spots. I prepped the practice hand a little bit differently today. I don't think I like it, but yeah, just ignore the little white spots. I honestly wasn't quite expecting this like texture for the polygel. I will be very honest, the consistency seems a little bit weird, but I already like it because it like doesn't move at all. Like I could hold it like this for like 5 minutes and I doubt it will move. So let's place the polygel in the dual form. I really don't think I put enough polygel, so we're probably going to be adding more. Just went ahead and dipped the brush in the rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to go ahead and start smoothing it out. And what I know about nails, you don't want to have too much polygel around the part that's going to connect to the nail, just because when you press it down, it is going to spill out a little bit. So make sure to have like this area very thin. Keep in mind, this is going to be the underside of the nail, so you do want to make it pretty smooth. Otherwise, you might have to file after it's cured, and that is really annoying to file underneath the nail. So do make sure you make this as smooth as possible. That is obviously not enough because I want to do like super long nails. So I'm going to go ahead and add some more. I will be honest, I love this product already. Like I haven't even cured it or seen what it looks like or like worked with it yet. But the consistency is absolutely perfect, and the color is really pretty as well. It is fully opaque. You don't have any like see-through areas, so the pigment is perfect as well. This is just my kind of polygel. One thing about it, it's a little bit hard to hold without getting all over your fingers. By the way, if you haven't figured it out yet, I'm making these nails like super long. It's going all the way down to the tip. So here we have the dual form tip ready for the application. Okay, pretend that this is already like filed and prepped. I don't really fully prep my practice hands just because they come off anyway. So ignore that, they're prepped. So let's go ahead and apply it to the tip of the nail. Okay, this is gonna be hard. Maybe I didn't put enough. Ooh, there's a hair. Okay, I have to like hold it in place while I cure because it's so heavy that it doesn't want to like stay in place. So I'm gonna hold it like that and go ahead and cure. Okay, that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a full cure under my big lavender Kiara Sky nail lamp. Okay, so the nail is fully cured now. We have to pop off the dual form tip. That is what makes these dual forms reusable. You can clean it with some rubbing alcohol and reuse it for another set. As you can see, the surface is extremely smooth. The sides could obviously use some filing, but I think that looks pretty good, honestly. And here's what the underside looks like. Here's the nail from the side. As you can see, you obviously have to build up the nail. This is basically just creating a nail tip for you to work on top of. So now I'm going to take the same polygel color and start building out the rest of the nail. The good thing about working with polygel is it doesn't cure on its own. It doesn't dry or anything. You do have to cure it to harden it. So you do have as long as you need to perfect the shape of the nail. Especially with polygels like this, the ones that do not move even after sitting on the nail for a while, it's really good because you really can perfect exactly how you want the nail to look. With the consistency like this, it does take a while to self-level, so if you do want to wait just a few minutes before curing, it can make the surface of the nail a little bit smoother. But keep in mind that this polygel does not move much at all, so pretty much wherever you place it is going to stay. I personally like to make the surface of the nail as smooth as possible, so I do not have to do as much filing. And of course, after applying the polygel over the entire nail, I'm going to go ahead and cure. So that is the index nail finished. I definitely need to shape and file, so please ignore how it goes out at the tip. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing for the middle fingernail. I will mention something. I feel like it's really not that much polygel. Maybe it's because I'm doing like extremely long nails. It seems less than it looks, if that makes sense. I might be wrong, but if you're doing like really short nails, this should last you a little bit at least. It's really not that deep. Popping off dual forms is insanely satisfying. That is the main thing I've always liked about dual forms. And up until using these, that is the only thing I've liked about dual forms. I am not a fan of like the typical dual forms. I feel like every time I've used it, it just doesn't work. If it does work, the structure is really bad and it ends up making the polygel break after like a day or two. I don't know, I'm just not a fan of dual forms, but I actually really like these. Of course, I am going ahead and applying the polygel over the rest of the nail. If you guys have made it this far into the video, I do want you to go ahead and comment down below this emoji. I also want to ask you a personal question. What is your favorite length of nails? This can be your favorite length of nails to watch or wear, or just in general, like what your favorite length is. I want to make sure I'm creating content that you guys like to watch, so definitely leave it down below in the comments. It would really help me out for my future content. So I am switching to the clear polygel for the ring fingernail. For this, we are trying the other method of the nail tip dual forms. So for this, you are going to be placing it underneath the free edge of your natural nail. Something I actually seen in another video was someone cut these corners off of the dual form nail tips just because it was a little bit too curvy for their natural smile line, and it wouldn't quite fit without having a gap between this corner and the free edge of the nail. So cutting the corners can help if your smile line is not this curvy. I'm going to take a dotting tool instead of a brush, and we're going to pick up the clear polygel and apply a little bit of this on the top of the dual form tip. You really don't need too much. We're only doing this to adhere the nail tip underneath the nail. Something like that. And we're going to slide this just underneath the tip of the nail bed. Just like that. Do make sure the dual form tip is in the perfect position and it's very straight, and then we're going to go ahead and cure that. Basically, the only point of doing this is to hold the dual form tip in place while you work on top. I've seen a few videos of this method like on Instagram and TikTok, but they go through it so quick and they don't show how the nail tip is sitting underneath the free edge of the nail. So I always just assumed that it was just sitting there. But after like playing with it for a second before starting this portion of the video, I realized that it would not just stay there. Like, you do have to sort of like glue it into place. Otherwise, when you're working, it is going to be moving around. Okay, so I know I said we're switching to clear, but just quickly, I want to take a little bit more of the nude polygel color and place it on the nail bed, just because I do not want to see this through the nail design. So once I have the polygel on the base of the nail, I'm just gonna go ahead and like feather the polygel color down. I think I might need to add a little bit more of the nude polygel just to get like an even ombre going down the nail. This polygel also seems to really easily ombre down, which I love when polygels are very easy to ombre. It's probably one of the easiest products to ombre in my opinion for nails. But yeah, I just wanted to mention it does seem like it ombres very easily. Once I have the ombre nude portion down, I am going to go ahead and cure that. Okay, now that we have the ombre cured, I am going to go ahead and take the clear polygel and we're going to be applying this to the rest of the nail. For this, I am doing it quite thin because we will be encapsulating some glitter in this first layer of polygel, so I'm not really worried about building any structure for this specific layer. I did clean the spatula by the way and the brush because I don't want to get any other colors in this clear. I am not worried about bringing the clear all the way to the cuticle, but I do want to cover a little bit of the nude on the base of the nail. So I'm going to be bluntly honest, this clear polygel is not extremely clear from what I can tell at the moment. So if you're looking for an extremely clear polygel, this is probably not it. So now that I have the clear polygel down, we're going to go ahead and apply the glitter and sequins. So this is what we're going to be using. I have these heart sequin pieces and also some pink fine glitter. So they're all pink, but the back of them is like bluish. So I'm gonna make sure that I put the pink side on the top. If you have sequins like this that are very flat and they are bigger than like a small glitter, do make sure to push them down a little bit into the layer of clear so that you do not file off the corners when you're filing and shaping. Even if you encapsulate, sometimes you may not have it thick enough and you end up filing the corners of your sequin pieces, and that is not good. So make sure to press it down a little bit into the gel. Then taking the polygel brush I'm not using, I'm going to go ahead and pick up this glitter with the brush. I dipped it in some rubbing alcohol and we're going to go ahead and place some glitter around these hearts. I'm also going to take this slightly darker pink glitter and apply some of this as well, just because the glitter seemed a little bit lighter once I placed it on the nail. So once I have all of the glitter placed, I'm going to go ahead and cure for a full minute. So now that that's cured, we are going back with the clear polygel to encapsulate the glitter. Once I've encapsulated, I'm going to go ahead and cure. So here is the fully cured nail. Look how pretty this is. I love how this is turning out so far. So now we have to figure out how we can pop off the dual form that's underneath the nail. So I actually got a little bit of polygel here at the tip, so I don't think I can pry it off from there, so I might have to start like over here. This definitely would not be so hard if you left a little bit of room at the tip, but I wanted these nails to be super long, so here's the nail. I do have to say I'm quite disappointed because you can clearly see the guidelines from the dual form on the nail. So I think I might can get rid of this by filing the underside of the nail, which I'm not really a fan of doing. But yeah, I'm gonna get rid of it and I'll come back in a second. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I fixed it just by filing the underside with an e-file. I did have to use a tapered bit because the typical sanding band would not fit because of the C-curve of the dual forms. But yeah, this is what it looks like. It does look pretty dry right now because I did file it. I did clean the underside with a lint-free wipe and some rubbing alcohol, but this is what it's going to look like until I apply a top coat. So now we're moving on to the pinky. I am doing the same method that I did for the ring fingernail, except we are moving back to the nude polygel color. So because we are switching colors, I'm going to be attaching the dual form tip with the same color that I plan to build the nail out with. I feel like it's kind of optional. This is just what I'm doing. Once I have the dual form cured into place, I am going back with the nude polygel and we're going to go ahead and build up the nail. By the way, guys, the temperature in your room really does affect the consistency of your polygels as well. So keep in mind, if you are in a warm room, it's going to be a little bit more runny than if you're in a cold room. So if you're having issues with all of your polygels being too stiff, try running a little heater in the room while you're doing nails. Or if they're all too runny, you can try having a fan just to change the consistency of your polygel to make it more manageable for you. A lot of the times it is also the brand, so depending on what kind of consistency that you like to work with will determine which brands you should use. You kind of just have to play around with it and see what is best for you. I feel like personally for beginners, having a stiff polygel is really easy because it doesn't move. So you have as long as you need and you don't have to worry about chasing it around the nail. That is the thing about builder gel. Almost all builder gel is kind of runny. So if you are new to doing nails or you're just starting to learn how to work with gel products, having a builder gel or a very liquidy polygel is going to make it a little bit harder. Okay guys, you might not like me for this, but I'm not going to be doing the thumb. So yeah. I feel like this nail set has been extremely time consuming already, and I don't want to have to worry about figuring out what to do for the thumbnail. The next step after all of your polygel nails are cured is to take a lint-free wipe and some rubbing alcohol and go ahead and remove the sticky layer from all of the nails. Of course, after the pinky nail is cured, we have to remove the dual form. And now I'm going to go ahead and shape and file, of course, off camera. So here are the nails shaped and filed. We're going to go ahead and start with the nail art. I do have my tile here for the nail art palette. For the first color I'm going to be using, this is from Kiara Sky. It's called Dress to Impress. I'm just going to place some of this on the nail art palette. Taking Nailzbydev's 9mm, I'm going to be using this to draw out the French tip for the pinky. This is a very, very deep smile line, so I'm just going to go ahead and start with that. After finishing the smile line, I am taking the bottle brush and I'm going to fill in the rest of the French tip. Okay, so off camera, I fixed the smile line because that first one was not it. You guys didn't even let me know. But basically, I just filed it down and redid only the smile line portion. I feel like this looks much better considering the length of the nails. So now we're moving on to the lips that are on the French tip. So we're going to be using the white gel liner from Nailzbydev. For the lips, I am just starting out with the top of the upper lip. For the shape of the upper lip, you kind of just start by doing a very stretched out like M shape. Kind of almost looks like those birds flying in paintings, like landscape paintings. After having the top line, I'm going to go ahead and draw a straight line connecting the corners. We're going to fill that in and do a little lump in the center of the lips. I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom lip. This is typically a lot bigger than the top lip, just in case you are struggling with proportions. And once I have my lips, I'm going to go ahead and cure. For the ring fingernail, I am going to be doing XO and a heart in the center of the glitter. Again, I'm using the same white gel liner from Nailzbydev. I kind of debated on making this like sugared, but I want to keep this set a little bit more simplistic and glossy. And to do the heart, I am going to be using a dotting tool. And to finish up the heart, we're just going to connect those two dots into a V. And I'm going to go ahead and cure. Hi, I'm back. It's the next day. I had to stop doing the nails because I got nail glue in my eye. It was like almost 1 in the morning and I was trying to finish up the nail art. And I tried to cut a little tiny piece of the practice hand right here, and I cut too much, so I was like, I'm just gonna glue it back. So I took my nail glue and I was like holding a piece of the silicone with my tweezers and I was like doing like this, and I squeezed it too hard and it like shot into my eye. That was crazy. But yeah, by the way, don't get nail glue in your eye. It doesn't feel that good. I can see fine, everything is good. Just got some irritation and I'm waiting for it to go down now. So yeah, crazy story. If you guys made it this far into the video, please give it a thumbs up. This nail set is taking a lot from me. For the index nail, I'm going back with the white gel liner and we're going to do another French tip. So because of the whole issue with the nail glue in my eye, I did end up going to the doctor today, and it appears that I have an abrasion on my eye from the nail glue. It's actually like 2 little ones. If you don't know what abrasions is, it's basically like a little cut. And yeah, it's really irritated. Thankfully, I was told that the eye regenerates faster than any other part of your body, so I was told that it should be good by tomorrow, which I'm really hoping on. It does feel a little bit better than it did like last night, so that is a plus. And the thing too was I wasn't even like close to the nail. My face was like at least a foot away and it just like shot into my eye. I do think that this happened because the opening of my glue was a little bit dried just from leaving the lid off for like 2 seconds too long. And as I was trying to like squeeze it a little bit harder for it to come out, it just like busted. Taking the same pink gel polish that I used for the pinky French, I'm going to go ahead and do some hearts on the corner of the French tip. These are just outlined hearts, they're not filled in. And I'm also going to take a dotting tool and do some dots around the hearts. Once I have the nail art done, I am going to go ahead and cure. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up these 3 nails, and I'll do this one in just a second. But I want to go ahead and finish up the other ones first. I'm going to go ahead and apply the gel top coat. I'll also be applying some of these colorful rhinestones. I will also be applying the top coat to the underside of the clear nail. If you are applying rhinestones on yourself, do make sure to use a rhinestone adhesive. It will definitely help the rhinestones stay in place. So I took another quick break and I also fixed the French tip on the index nail because it was like way too high up. It didn't match the pinky. So I filed some of it and like fixed up the French tip, so that's what it looks like now. And obviously I have drawn the sketch for the character that we're doing today. I am going to be doing a Jessica Rabbit. I want to go ahead and say I have not seen the movie, so I'm not going to be talking about it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get on to the nail art. So yeah, let's go ahead and start painting her. I'm going to be using Nailzbydev's Bare It All gel polish. I'll also be using the color Honey Bun. Taking the lighter nude color, I'm going to go ahead and color in her skin. For the sketch of the character, I did use the brown shading gel from Nailzbydev. That is a really good gel polish for something like this. It helps you keep your proportions really nice and even and gives you a really good guideline as to where to place your colors. This color is a little bit too dark for her skin color, but I'm hoping I can add some highlights and make it look a little bit better. We'll see how that turns out. I did go ahead and cure her skin, and now I'm going to be coloring in her dress. For this, I'm not going to be doing the actual color for dress. I'm going to be using the pink that I used for the pinky and the index nail. So because I'm changing the color of the dress, it doesn't quite look right to do the purple eyeshadow and the gloves. So I'm actually going to be doing them a lighter pink. I'm using I'm Sprung from Nailzbydev. Like I just said, I'm going to be using this color for her eyeshadow as well as her glove. So the magic touch to her dress is actually going to be Kiara Sky's Peach Sangria. This is a glitter gel polish with a hint of pink. This is going to give it the sparkle that it has in the reference photos. This color is an absolute game changer if you want to add a little bit of pretty sparkles without changing the color too much. Depending what color the base is will determine what color it looks like after. I put this over a nude set recently for the angel nails that I posted about. I really loved how it made the nails end up looking. I wish I would have done a video on those, but just wanted to mention that this color is really pretty. Taking the white gel liner again, I'm going to go ahead and do a small line in her eye for the white. So for some reference photos, I see her with like bluish gray eyes, and some of them I see green. But for the most part, I think they are green. So I have a dark green gel polish, and I'm going to do her iris with a dotting tool. Okay, so finding the right shade for her hair color is actually kind of hard. I had to like mix up a bunch of different colors. So I found something I think might work. I'm gonna go ahead and paint her hair. I'm now using a darker shade of the orange color for some shading in her hair. Taking the brown color Cocoa Puff, I'm just going to take this and do her eyebrow. Next, I am taking Nailzbydev's Oops, I Did It Again gel liner for her lips. I'm using this one instead of the gel polish just because it is a lot more pigmented than the gel polish, and I don't want to have any lines showing through on her lips. Now going in with the color Honey Bun, I'm going to add some shading to her skin. Then taking a blender brush, I'm going to go ahead and blend out a little bit of that shading. And after doing the shading on her skin, I am going to be doing some details on her face. And I am taking the Baddest Black gel liner to do some outlines. And the last step after everything is cured is to go ahead and apply the top coat. And I'm going to go ahead and cure. And here are the nails. I love how these turned out. I think they're really cute. Finally, I'm able to do a Valentine's Day themed set. Do make sure to give this video a thumbs up. As always, if you guys have any recommendations for future character nail art, let me know down below in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!